Thank you, everyone. So just a little bit about Agora. It's a Greek word, means everybody can talk together in a very large arena. So Agora is a public traded company, NASDAQ, 11 years in the history. We power roughly over 3 billion devices, mobiles, car, inside the Xiaomi, some of your drones, cameras, IoT device, your watch. So basically, roughly about 7,000 customers using us, Clubhouse, LinkedIn, Facebook, some of those ones, right? So now I'm here talking about beyond tokenization, right? The conversational AI. Token here doesn't mean the token in the Web3, but more about tokenization of the language, right? A lot of time people thinking, tech people usually have a lot of passion. They have a vision, they have a passion, but sometimes they come a little bit early. So understand where we are, what the difficulty we're facing is actually the critical to capture the next generation of voice agent and human companionship, which I believe is the two of largest use case for the AI for now. I'm Tony Wang, co-founder of Agora and the CIO, as we said. So this is not just a language. Last year, we see the rise of chatbot, right? And very smart, you can talk all day long. But the language of human being go beyond that. We have emotion. There's an old word called read between the lines, right? You're talking about your body language, your tone, your emotion in it. And as a result, we see the first wave of the voice agent include some of the companion apps basically lacking, right? It's very easy for human to actually detect this is AI, because there is no emotion in the language, right? So basically, it's more than just large model plus TTS plus ASR, which we have right now. Real world interaction is about gazing. Am I looking at you? It is about emotion. It is about the timing. It is about context. And all of those are very important for our conversation, right? Without those, it's basically nothing but a chatbot, right? So the true conversation is multimodal. We already know that. But it's also cognitive and embedded and also come with visual. At this moment, we're always talking about voice agent, but really, I believe the future is basically conversational agent. Your camera on your device play a big role of capturing human emotion. And that emotion is what needed for the full modality model to basically mimic the human emotion. And that is critical missing piece at this very moment. So, what is the next stack looks like, right? We call this real-time interaction. It's basically you put all those things together. Lip syncing have to be part of it. Gaze estimation, head nod, your body language, your hand, everything have to be captured. Emotion tagging, we already see from the latest model of 11 Lab, you can basically tag emotion, right? We also see from other companies such as Hume.ai can basically generate emotion based on context without tagging. So all those are very interesting, right? So we're basically right now we're shifting from just text to coordinated audio and visual, sensory input and output. And those is what Agora is working on, and that's what I believe is what's coming next. Now, multimodal integration, there's a lot of challenges over here. It's not easy. And I would say the biggest challenge is actually unaware of the problem that we are facing. There's an old saying called, you don't know what you don't know, right? And I think we're at this stage. We do not know what is the hard part. People thinking, just give it a WebSocket, deliver the audio in and audio out, now you have conversation. It's not that simple, right? There's so many things that are missing. For example, audio latency and the video latency are always different, right? The sensor fusion breaks with clock drifting. Imagine you have you have an interactive avatar, one of your favorite singers, who interact with 1 million fans, all in different part of the earth. How do you keep the clock sync? How do you keep the mouse moving, the lip sync? How do you make sure the audio and the visual are syncing? And then imagine now those 1 million audience is interact with that virtual avatar, interactive avatar, right? So all those are challenges that we are currently facing. And by the way, those are all actually common use case we are seeing among our customers, right? So now, what people don't realize is in a simple conversation, let's say you and I stand in this hallway, 80% of your brain is processing subconscious task, noise cancellation. echo cancellation. You will never answer your own question, but AI will, because he capture all the input of voice. He think it's a question. He think the people down on the other table talking is actually a question to him, right? And he has a hard time to interrupt you. He does not know where you finish or not finish. He has no way of gazing through your eyes and see if you are confused or if you are still following him. So all those are the challenges for a true conversation. And our human brain spend 80% processing power for that. That is not defined. Because up to this moment, every single communication protocol is designed for human to human. None need to address those questions. You don't see me answer my own question unless I'm mad, right? So you don't have to design into a traditional protocol that, hey, make sure you do not answer your own question, right? You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about, hey, do not interrupt. When humans are speaking, AI shut up. You don't have to do that. But AI don't know about it. AI thinking, listen to his own voice. Why? Well, because we call echo. You just saw the announcement from Mattel and OpenAI. Very soon, the AI is going to be all your toys. But here's the challenge. Those toys, unlike your mobile phone from Apple, fine-tuned. The echo, the acoustic ability of the Apple cell phone and Samsung is being fine-tuned to the point all the echo is gone. But when you put it into a mass production device, that is not the case. Your echo will come in. You're like, oh, that's very simple. Just filter it out. Just filter it out, right? It's very easy. Well, that problem been there for years, for dozens of years, right? So it's not that easy, right? So basically, everything breaks without it. And then what will happen is user disengage. And that's what we're seeing. We see, I think a couple months ago, some of the US company, a financial institution, is hiring back their human service, call center people. And we see some of the early pioneer of the emotional companion app last year sold for very low valuation because there is no emotion. We pay the highest value is emotional value. Just look at who's the largest startup here, TikTok. It's an emotional value, right? So now we go into next phase is cognitive model as even more challenge. We expect user, the AI, to just get it, just like what your woman expect you to do. Just get it, right? Well, that's not that simple, right? We actually have a large model in our brain. We've been trained until 35 years old. When you get married, you still don't get it. But AI is very new, only 2-3 years. How does it get it, right? It's very hard, right? It does not understand the visual irony. Like, are you mad at me? No, I'm not. Well, obviously you are. But AI don't understand. AI like, well, based on my tokenization, you are happy about me, right? So let's continue about next happy topic. That's very hard, right? And fail to react with timing. Sometimes humans are very accurate. When you see somebody lose, your eye is gazing, lost contract, like, hey, are you with me? Well, let me repeat what I said. Do you have a question, right? It's very hard for AI to think about that. But even harder is we don't really have a standard right now. When you fusion things together, one thing you will see from every single company, and we are not away from that. Every AI company thinking they are the best. So all of a sudden you have 10 rankings about who is the best conversational AI company out there. But because there's a lacking of multimodal standard for benchmark for this multimodal fusion, right? But even harder for that is there's no benchmark or definition for human-like interaction. What do you mean by human-like, right? Put a voice over WebSocket, human-like. Adding a camera, human-like. What exactly is human-like? There is no definition at this very moment. Without addressing this question, there will be no engagement. Without engagement, there will be no conversation. And this is basically one of the challenges the whole industry is facing. All those companies you see is building on top of this very foundation. When you're talking about voice agent, when you're talking about future application here, application over there, they all build on top of this, and yet this is undefined and not solved. Now, what is really human-like, right? Context-aware, gaze, and tracking, basically. Just emotion. hands, your body language. There's a term called the body language. It's there for a reason. And it's very important. You lean forward, you lay back, you look confused. All those provide your other counterpart, the conversational people, a lot feedback of what your brain is at. And those are vital, right? Latency compensation and adaptive synchronization. This is basically make sure your audio, visual, and your movement is all in together. And last but not least is ethical. You're like, oh, don't worry about it. Just send all my data to crowd. Well, there's a thing called the sovereign crowd right now, right? And there's device. So what AI sense and what you said in the language, your tokenizable stuff, is a small portion of what AI, the future AI, can sense about you, right? So how do you deal with it? Maybe everything should be stored in your mobile phone. I believe the mobile phone would be much more powerful later on, and the model will be more efficient and smarter. So maybe that is the future, right? Versus everything in the crowd. So yeah. But now let's look at this. What's driving all those things? There's so many use cases. So over the last 11 years, we internally have categorized all the use case into two things. There is one that's saving your time, voice agent, copilot, coding, cursor, and this very deck was a collaboration between me and AI, right? There's also another portion is now that you have saved a couple hours in a day, what you do, you're going to waste it. You're going to waste it on all those emotional companionship, gaming, medias, swipe right or swipe up. Basically, all those things where you're going to spend because it makes you feel happy. And that is a huge economics, right? So all those two things is going to continue driving this model and define what is human-like in the next couple years. It won't be easy. It will be a couple years. And why it's important? Because if you're a founder, build something in this space, you want to make sure you do not go too fast. When you go too fast, you are driving by pure passion and vision. You basically, the foundation is not there. Your application will be lacking, right? And in the end of the day, you're going to hide back all those human call center people you just let go last year, right? So what is the long-term future of conversational AI, right? We believe actually it will disappear. A true conversation is subconscious. That's just your brain is handling 80% of your subconscious task. It will get into your device, into your rooms, into your space, where you are, your car, right? Just like water and AI. You don't really feel it there, but imagine 1 second without it, right? It will become understanding, timing aware, and emotionally intelligent. But it all starts with defining and solving what most ignore. That is basically people take it for granted. Just send your voice and tokenize it into bits and bytes over TCP/IP. And that's it, the conversation is done, right? Well, my argument is we are just at the very beginning of it. And this is very exciting because we're at the beginning, it's exciting. It's particularly exciting over here. People might thinking, well, what Southeast Asia can participate with all the larger models? You need like $10 billion to just get it started. Well, I would say, yes, somebody doing larger model, but AI is everywhere. It's an industry revolution. There's plenty of opportunity for us to build a vertical specific use case that large model fail to address. And I would also argue a lot of the future of AI is data-driven. Your user data is going to be so important, and that is something you can build on top, right? So anyway, that is my notes. Thank you, everybody.